All right, so we are live and recording. Team Living with Purpose, our new team name. I'm excited about that. I just wanted to go over a couple of quick housekeeping things in the beginning, just to make sure everybody's aware. I know there's not very many people on the call, but there will be a recording. So just to go over, Super Saturday's coming up. That's coming up on April 2nd. So if you don't know where your local Super Saturday is, make sure to get a hold of me and I'll show you how to find that. That's, a really important thing to try to get to. Live events are a big deal. So try to get to that. And then challenge pack sales for the month, just so you guys know what's going on. We have the 22-minute hardcore. You can either get the performance line, which is like the Energize, and I think the Recovery comes with that for $140, or you can get the 22-minute hardcore with the Shakeology for $140 on sale this month. We also have the PIO and Shakeology for $140, that challenge pack, and then the PIO Kickstart, which is PIO, Shakeology, and the 3-day refresh. So that's $180 this month. And then we do have the 3-day refresh on sale this month too for $140. So just so you're aware of what's going on, and you can find all that information in the back office in your Coach Online office under news and training.
The 3-day refresh is actually even on sale right now too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It's like $5 off or something like that, right? If you just buy it by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's $5 off if you do the refill kit, and then $10 off if you do the, isn't it with the Shakeology or something like that?
Since I'm not going to do the 3-day refresh, I didn't pay attention.
You didn't really pay attention. I think it's 5 and 10 though. Yeah, and then we've got the new program coming out, Country Heat. I am excited about that. I know a lot of people are not excited about line dancing and that kind of thing. I can't wait. I think it's going to be fun. I'm
walking like sideways.
Huh?
Did you hear Carl's little thing? I'm walking, but I'm doing it sideways.
Oh yeah, I did. He's such a cheeseball, I swear. Anyhow, so yeah, that's coming out at Summit in July. So those are little housekeeping things, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it because we only have about a half hour or 40 minutes or so to go over this. So one other thing before I get into it, regarding your power hours, this is important. Maybe I should tell you what the call is about. So we're going to do how I do power hour using Google Streak. Google Streak has been really helpful for me to keep my contacts, keep them organized, know where they're at in the flow of things. That's always been my biggest struggle. You can ask my coach Amy. I have gone back and forth every which way you can think of to keep to keep my contacts and try to keep them organized. I've done note papers, I've done Google Sheets, I've done Asana, I tried Wunderlist, I've done different CRMs like Teamsy and different things like that. But Google Streak, I think, is one of the best. Teamsy is also very good, but that costs money. It's like $20 or $30 a month. And Google Streak is free and totally customizable. So I think it's a really good option, especially for new coaches. You don't want to put money into your business right away, if you're not making the money yet. So anyhow, it's a good option. Couple things, before we get started though. In order for Power Hour to work, you have to be posting on Facebook consistently. It's really important, at least 2 to 5 times a day. Posting, not all about Beachbody, but kind of just sharing your life with everybody of what's going on. Some of it should be about Beachbody, and I don't mean like stock photos or, sales or here's my link, buy from me kind of thing. I mean, a picture of your workout, some motivation, that type of thing. And honestly, if you're doing your 3 vital behaviors, you should have, you can post, something from your personal development, and you can post like a workout selfie, or you can do a video, or whatever. That's 2 of your posts right there. So you really only need to come up with like 1 or 2 more posts for the day. Another thing I suggest also is downloading your contact list from Facebook. I will post a link on how to do that. There's a YouTube video on how to do that. I'll post a link to that in the descriptions of the YouTube video and on Facebook in our team page. So that way, it's the easiest thing to work from. You have to work from a list. Otherwise, if you just go on Facebook and willy-nilly pick people, it's, you're not going to get in touch with everybody. And you really do need to, get in touch with everybody. And basically that's it. Just, you know, I wanted to go over those quick things before we get started. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. I lost my, there we go. Okay, can you guys see that?
Not yet.
No,
Yep.
no.
Yes.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I have set this up according to Laura Mendenhall did like a 7-step invite process with us, or she posted about a 7-step invite process. I've tweaked it just a little bit for myself. And she uses just like a, you know, a handwritten or an Excel form, which is totally fine too. If you can track your contacts however, whatever works for you, it doesn't have to be Google Streak. I just wanted to show you what I do. But that method works really, really well with Google Streak, and I'll show you why it works so well. Because of this little thing, this little section right here called Days in Stage. You can like keep track of how many days somebody's in a certain stage. And each one of these stages is set up as one of the steps in the 7 steps. I actually knocked it down to 6 steps because one was redundant to me. But it is basically the 7-step method, you know, and I even went as far as when I was setting it up, you can see here, I put in how many days, like how many maximum days somebody should be in that stage. So it helps me kind of like keep track of like, okay, if they're like past that time, I need to move them down to the next stage. It really takes any guesswork of who you need to talk to and what you need to do. And it kind of forces you out of your comfort zone because you know you need to send somebody a message then. If they've been in, you know, your like and comment section for a couple of days, it's time to actually like reach out and send them a message, which is not always the easiest thing to do if you don't have much in common. You know, and once they get past a certain stage here, it's time to actually send them an invite. No matter where you're at in the conversation, hopefully it's progressed because they've been in the other stage for a couple of days, but it's time to send them an invite, you know, and just say something like, you know, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, whatever, like a segue somehow. So anyhow, okay, let's go ahead and just jump into the stages. Let me back up for a second. So if you want to know how to set up Google Streak, I did do a video last week, and it's almost an hour-long video. It is a little time-intensive to set it up in the beginning, but if you do it right away and then add people as you go, I swear it'll save you so much time doing power hours. You know, it's definitely worth an hour of your time up front to get it done and then be ready to go. Okay, but if you need access to that video, it's on my YouTube channel. You can find it. There's a ton of Google Streak tutorials out there. Brooke Lipoff is a great one for Beachbody. She has a ton of trainings. She has a lot more stages and a lot more pipelines than I have. So these are considered stages, like all of these different colors up here. Pipelines are, you know, your pipeline for what you're doing. So my funnel pipeline, that's actually all my contacts from beginning to end, like once they become customers, okay? The only other pipeline I have is actually for my coaches, and the only reason I have a separate pipeline for them is because I track different stuff for them. Once they become coaches, I want to know where they're at in their training, not so much as like, you know, leading up to the purchase. So, all right. So the 7 steps are adding new contacts. Actually, I think I added that step. I think in Laura Mendenhall's, she's got like and comment is the first step. I actually added a step where it's just adding new contacts, just because I feel like when you add a new contact, you don't want to go through and like all their stuff right away. I feel like that's a little bit creepy-ish. So, you know, they sit in this, once I've added them, they sit in here for a day or two until they get to the like and comment section. So anyhow, adding new contacts, what I would do, let's see here. Okay, and this is probably a bad example. I haven't been feeling very well, so I did not do my power hour on Friday. I typically will do power hours Monday through Friday, not on the weekends, but I wasn't feeling well on Friday, so you'll see that the days in the stages over here are a little bit longer. They shouldn't get to that point. I should have moved them already. But since I didn't do Power Hour on Friday, they're a little bit longer. So I am going to show you what I do just to start out. You can, if you click this little box here, it selects all that are in this section. Okay, if you click the box up here, it's going to select all of your contacts. You don't want to do that. Okay, but I can see that all of the people in this stage are past my 2 days. So they need to move down to the next level. So how I do that is I've got my stages here. I double click on my stages, and then I can just move everybody down to stage 2. Okay, so now though, I have added new people that are new friends. I've sent, you know, I usually send about 10 to 15 friend requests a day, and not all of those people accept my friend request. I don't add them in here until they've accepted my friend request. So I will go to my Facebook page, and you can look up who's recently added you or accepted your request by going to your friends page or your friends tab, and then recently added. So I know that, okay, so I know that I started down here because I just know from the last time that I added people on Thursday, she was the last one that I added to my network. So we're going to start with Cherie, and I just copy and paste it. If I can copy and paste it. Or you could just type it, however you want to do it. Let's see here. There we go. So we will add her. And whatever your cursor's at, when you add a new box, it's going to go in that section. Okay? So I would just paste her information here. And then that's it for that. Okay, and I know that I have, I've got different drop downs here because I want to kind of track where I've got people coming from. And I know that I met her in an adrenal fatigue group. So you can add, you know, different categories. That's in that video that I showed you how to set up your Google Streak. So I met her in the adrenal fatigue group. So let me just go do one more. So I know I'm going kind of fast. Okay, so let's see. Copy that. And we'll add her. We don't need to know how many friends she has. Okay, and I met her through church. Okay, let's see here. My copy and pasting isn't working very well. So. Okay. And of course my computer's super slow. Awesome.
I thought it was only mine that did that.
No, it's got a mind of its own today.
Mm.
Sweet. Okay. Come on. What is happening here? Oh, lovely.
Just think it's recording too.
I know it is. Okay. So I met her at church. Okay, so we're going to get out of this. So that's really it. Like, you would go through and add whoever accepted your requests, you'd add them to this section. If you don't have 5 people that have accepted your request, you can always go to your Facebook list that you've printed out or that you've got on an Excel sheet and just go to your next person that you have not started a conversation with. You want to shoot for 3 to 5 people a day, and it's totally up to you, like, what that number is. I shoot for 5 people, sometimes even more if I have extra time. So if I had only 2 or 3 people accept my friend request, then I'm going to go, let's see here. I am going to go to people who have recently liked my posts because I already know that they're seeing my posts. That's one of the methods that I use. Or you can go to your Facebook list and just add the next person on your Facebook list. That's totally fine too. So let's see here if there's anybody that I haven't. So these people are already seeing my posts. I'm already in conversation with most of these people. I don't think I'm in conversation with LaTanya, so I'll add her. Oh my gosh. I was doing this, there we go, the other day, and the copying and pasting was working just fine. There we go. Okay. Oops. See, wherever the cursor's at, that's where it's going to add the box. So if you put your cursor back up here, it'll add your box up here. Okay. So that's that. Okay, and I just met her. I don't know where I met her because it was a while ago, so I've got a Facebook tab. That's it. All right, so, and then I'm done with that tab. All right. And then you go to the next section. If my computer would just like work with my click in here. Hang on a second. Okay, so I've got tons of people here, but now you can clearly see that I've got people that, you know, I had just put in this column or in this stage, and then I've clearly got people that are past, you know, their 2 days in the stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, there's a little arrow here on each tab. You can sort it from lowest to highest. And then what I'm going to do is in this stage, this is the first thing that I always do, is go through and move everybody that I'm not going to work on in this tab to the next tab. Okay, so all of these people, because they have like 3s and 4s, they've been in there for 3 or 4 days, they're moving to the next stage. Okay, so all of these people, all that I'm going to do is go in and go to their page. Oops, hang on a second. Dang it. We do not want to. Okay, well, we're going to forget that. We're not going to copy and paste. We're just going to go to people's pages and type them in. Okay, so I'm going to go to this person's page, type their name in. I need a map, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go to her page. And since we're just in the like and comment section, I am just going to go down a few posts. And like, you know, 1 or 2 posts. You don't want to go get crazy because people will think you're stalking them. You know, just kind of go through and, I mean, you can comment on them, whatever. You know, like this looks like she had fun. And that's it. And then basically that's all you do. You go down through each one of these. Okay. And I mean, the check marks, I just check them off for my own knowledge that I did it. Okay. So I would go through all of these people and go like and comment on their page. And I think part of the reason my computer's super slow is because of the Zoom and all that stuff. So this doesn't normally take me that long to do everything. And then I would close out this tab.
Stacy, can I ask a question real quick?
Yep.
The like and commenting, that is going to put your feed onto their Facebook page.
Yeah.
Is that why we're doing
Yeah,
this?
that's actually one of the biggest reasons that this is working so well, I think, is because I'm effectively going through and liking and commenting on people's information. Then they see my stuff. They see my posts more regularly in their newsfeed as well. So it's, I forgot what it's called, some kind of algorithm, or I forgot, affinity. That's what it is, Facebook affinity. It makes your stuff show up in their newsfeed as well. And it's crazy, but it really does work because these people are now liking and commenting on my stuff as well. So in the like and comment section, they'll stay in there for a day or 2. And then they move on to the next section, which is, you know, I'm going to send them a message and form them. And it's just like a hey girl message, how are you doing, that kind of thing. It's nothing outrageous, but since I'm just clicking on this box, I'm going to move everybody that's past the 2 to the next stage. So I've got a lot of people to invite, it looks like. Okay, so all these people are moving to the invite stage. And now I'm back up and focused on my sending messages and forming stage. And let's go ahead and I'm going to open one box up just to show you. I hid the notes section here. There is a note section that I have here, but that's what I have everybody's information in, so I didn't want to share that. But I don't have any notes in this one specifically because I plan on using it. So, you know, I've got information in here, and usually I have notes in here about maybe how I met them, or, you know, information if they have kids, whatever the case may be. Okay, so I'm going to go send Laura a message. And because I have been liking and commenting on her stuff, she's been liking and commenting on my stuff, I kind of know like what's going on in her life, you know, a little bit, you know, not a ton, but a little bit. Okay, so just a quick glance here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and send her a quick message. And it's just gonna be like to re-engage her. Hey girl, how are you doing? Simple as that. And that's in this step here, step number 3. Okay, so anybody in step number 3, I'm just sending a quick message. I might have already messaged them from the day before. You know, I will go back through my messages and respond. And this is really where the action begins, is once you start like sending private messages. And that's really important, actually, to form people, get to know their family, their occupation, recreation, before you deliver the message or the invite. If it is a conversation that drags on forever, or you just maybe don't have a lot in common with that person, go ahead and send them the invite. You know, you don't have anything to lose, and it's better to get the invite out there and have them say no or not right now than not to have asked them at all, okay? And the thing with this is they don't move to the next stage until you've sent that message, okay? Let's see here. Or rather, should I say, since you've already sent them to this stage, you have to send that message. Like, it's a given, okay? So let's see here. So in stage 4 is I'm sending the invite, okay? So these people I have already sent the invite to. Which means that they're moving to the next stage, which means I will need to follow up with them in the next stage. Okay.
Hey, Stacy.
Yes?
Kimberly Corte
Uh-huh.
is my customer, so just FYI.
I'm sorry, who?
Kimberly Corte?
Uh-huh.
Cordray, excuse me. Yeah, she's my customer.
Oh, she is?
Yes.
Well, that's good to know. Okay. We will take her out of here then. It's really easy to delete a box as well. All right. There we go. Okay. Okay, so in this stage I picked out, I was going to invite Stephanie. So I'm going to go to her page. Let's see here. And Stephanie, I have actually invited to coaching before. And she was interested, but it's been a really long time, so I have re-engaged with her. And I'm going to invite her to our next challenge group.
Now, if you don't have an actual challenge group in mind, do you still send out the invite?
You should always have a challenge group in mind. There should never be a time where you don't have a challenge group in mind, because you should plan out your calendar at least a month ahead of time. So even if your challenge group doesn't start for 2 or 3 weeks, like actually that's the optimal time to invite somebody, is 2 to 3 weeks out. So there should always be something to invite somebody to. And if there's not, I mean, just check with your upline coach, because I'm sure there's something that somebody's doing, you know, that you can invite them to. All right, so let's see here. It looks like she hasn't responded to my last message, but that's okay. I'm still going to, and I shouldn't have this open. I don't have my template open with my invite message, but I'm just going to say, hey, girl. Let's see, I cannot see what I'm typing here. That's so weird. Huh. Sometimes I hate Windows. Okay, I'm going to go to my messages so I don't like totally screw this message up. Let's see here. There we go. Now I can see what I'm typing. My scripted one has much better content than this, but since I wasn't prepared and didn't do that, that's what, and the fact that I've already talked to her before, I'm cool with what I'm typing here. Okay, and then that's done. So your invite's done. Okay, so I would go through, and most of it is copy and paste. You want to tailor your invite to each person though. And I apologize, I should have had my invite script up and ready to go. So that's it. And you know, maybe spend 5-10 minutes, you know, sending your invites out. Next stage, same thing. So you guys are kind of getting the idea. So Sophia, she's the only one that I sent the follow-up to that's past my my 2 days, and it's actually 2 to 4 days. When they're in this stage, this is when things change a little bit. So in the follow-up stage, that's why I've got 2 to 4 days. You'll be going back and forth, you know, especially if you're following the 5-step invite script, or if you know, because you don't want to just say, hey, are you interested? Okay, here's all the info at once. You want to get to know them, what their goals are. We're here to actually help them and get them a program that they will enjoy doing. So you want to ask some basic information. And I will share I will share my script with you. I've revised it a couple of times. But one thing that helps a lot, and I'll show you that in a minute, is with Google Streak. Emails are super easy because you can save them as a snippet, it's called. Actually, let's go do that really quick. So let's say, and actually Sophia was interested. I just haven't moved her yet. So let's say Sophia's interested in, you know, in joining the group or more information. I would go to Compose. And then you'll see that it pops up down here. These little things down here. You've got snippets. And basically you can, like if it was your first time typing up the email, you can type the email in here and then create a new snippet from that email. So it makes it really simple. I've already created the emails. I'm just doing them as I go too. So don't overwhelm yourself trying to get all your email templates in there at once. Do them as you go so it's not overwhelming. So she wants more information. This is my invite step 2. After I have already sent or asked them if they wanted more information, it's just basically part of my 5-step invite script. It's got all of the questions, you know, that I want to ask, and that's it. And it took 2 seconds. And I can, if you go into the box here, if you go into her box down here, you'll see you can store people's emails right here. Okay, so normally I would have clicked on this email. It would have popped up with a template. I just don't want to send it by accident. It would have popped up with a blank email to her, and then I would have chosen the snippet to send to her. Super easy once it's set up. And I've actually been able to have a conversation going back and forth with her. Like, I was able to get to like step 3 within like an hour back and forth, just because it's all saved in my templates. So it's awesome. Let's see here. This. Okay. All right, so that is my follow-ups. So let's say I've invited somebody and they're not ready right now. They don't, they're not interested. I want to say that I did have somebody that was not interested. I don't see her in here though. Maybe here. Okay, I did get a message from Amanda. She is not interested right now. She said check back with her later. So she is going to move down to my not interested or not right now section. Okay, and then the deal with this section, the not right now, or if you didn't get a response from your follow-up, you would move them in here. And then once they're in here for 30 days, this one's different. I mean, you can still be liking and commenting on their stuff if you want to, but once they're in here for 30 days, then you move them back to step number 1, way back to the beginning, and you just start the process over again. And this way, nobody falls out of, you don't lose any of your follow-ups that way. You don't ever lose the conversation, which was happening to me all the time. It happened to me in a couple spots. It would happen to me once I was forming them and then the conversation would go cold. I would never get to the invite stage and I'd forget about what was going on until I go through all of my Facebook messages again. And then here, you know, now that you've got this section, to remind you, people just hold out here, you know, and then you can go back to starting forming all over again and do that. And then obviously, if they're interested, you move them into the interested stage here, and then just kind of move them along the funnel as you go. So I've got interested. These are people that I want to stay in regular contact with. You know, I'm not going to like harass them every day, but I want to make sure, like, you know, when there's a sale or anything, if they have not pulled the trigger, you want to follow up and see why they haven't pulled the trigger. And then obviously people that have purchased, if they're active challengers. If they're idle customers, maybe they purchased from you months ago and they haven't been in any challenge groups lately. That's where or if they're free leads and they haven't, you know, done anything, you can add them in here. And one thing that Google Street does is their mass emails make it so convenient. And I'm gonna have to do a different training on the different, like, I'll do a detailed one on snippets, a detailed one on you can time your emails, a detailed one on follow-up responses, because if somebody doesn't reply to your email, you can set it so it pops back up into your inbox so you don't forget that, to follow up with them again or to check in on them. And then I have a few, I should have moved Kimberly Corday to my do not contact list, because that's what happens sometimes. I've got a lot of coaches on my friends list, and I'll be talking to them and not realize that they're coaches, or maybe they're working with a coach already. And it gets frustrating because you're talking to them and you don't know that they have a coach already. They never said anything. So if you move them to your do not contact list, then you know if you ever go to add them again, it'll pop up with a duplicate box. And I think that's about it as far as that goes. So what I would do after I've worked my way through the funnel here, okay, I would go into one of my groups. You know, like not Beachbody groups, but like my adrenal fatigue group, my moms of teens groups, things like that, and just go in and participate in those groups, and then start friend requesting people that are interacting with my posts or posts that I've commented on. That's how I gain new friends the easiest. You can also go into, if you go, and I always do this part last because I can get stuck on this part for some reason. So I always tend to do the adding to my network last. I'm really this part's really easy for me for some reason. So things that are easy to you should come last. Things that are the most difficult to you, you should get them done out of the way first. Okay. I just found this the other day. If you go to Find Friends, this is a really cool feature. You can search friends. Like if I only want to search friends that are in La Mirada, then it'll pull up a list. I mean, I'm from La Mirada, so I have tons of mutual friends with these people. So it's really easy to go in and add people that I've got, like this person I've got 24 mutual friends with. So send them a request. You know, all that they're going to do is say no or not respond to you. And then one thing you do want to make sure to do is every couple of days go through your friend requests. If you go to your friend request page and you can see view sent requests here, you want to work your way up from the bottom to the top and cancel requests. They shouldn't sit in your box for more than a few days. If they do, you want to cancel those requests so Facebook doesn't look at you like you're a machine and just adding random people. Okay? You don't ever want to have more than like 20 or so friend requests in an outgoing basis here. Let's see, what else did I want to go over with you guys? Oh, and then the last step is going through and checking your messages. You want to go and respond to all of your messages. Most likely by the time you've gotten through your power hour, you've responded to most of the unread messages. Okay? But what I did there, I don't know if you saw that or not, you want to go to more and then go to unread and then scroll all the way to the bottom and work your way up to the top and just respond to people. And that, you know, depending on what the message is, it shouldn't take you that long. So I know that was kind of fast. Going through everything, you might have to watch this a time or two. But did it make sense to you guys, or do you have questions for me?
I like this Google Sheet thing. I'm more of an Excel person when I work.
Yeah, do whatever works best for you. I mean,
but I like this where it kind of goes through and stuff because, you know, I can totally remember it was the Team Cup in August where I set that big goal of ST30 and I just flopped, and I have yet to even come close to getting to anywhere where I need to be. And I have 1,000 people on my Facebook friends list, and I guarantee you at least 500 of them don't know I'm a Facebook or that I'm a Beachbody coach. So I need to start putting those people in here, and either they will be idle customer, active challenger, or do not contact. But you know, that way, at least I know. Yeah,
I think that's what this helps me with a lot is the fact that, like, as long as I start here and get my 5 names in here, they have to work their way all the way through the funnel. Like, it's not an option. It's something I'm holding myself to. You know, I don't want to see anybody in these stages. Like, even the 3 or 4 days was too long. You know, so it's really pushing me to get stuff done. So I enjoy it. Teresa, do you have any questions?
No,
Did it make sense? I know that I went really fast.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I have set mine up, and I'm kind of at the like and comment, so I gotta move on to the message thing.
yeah, that is. I mean, that is the hard part. But honestly, if you just do like a "Hey, how are you doing?" you know, that kind of message.
Now,
it gets the convo started.
What if they don't reply to that message? Would you put them in no response?
Yeah, you know, I haven't really gotten that yet. And Laura Mendenhall didn't really go over like what she does if they don't respond either. I would probably keep if there's no response to that after the in this forming stage.
Right.
And this stage is a little bit longer because Laura Mendenhall had 2 forming stages.
Yeah.
Because in Laura's method, it's every 2 days you talk to that person. So this actually could be 2 to 4 days. If in 4 days they haven't responded, I might go back through and start liking and commenting their stuff again. Just to see, like, if they've seen it and not responded. If they haven't even seen it, then I probably would move them down to the no response because it means that they're not on Facebook Messenger very often.
Right.
So, it's a good question. And I'm still playing around with this. I just started this last week, so it is kind of a work in progress. I've actually, since last week, I've changed a couple of the stages. I've changed different things. You know, I do love the fact that it's totally customizable according to anything you want it to be, anything you want to track. I love that. And I love these lists. Let me open up somebody that I haven't really been talking to yet so you can see the lists. Like, I love how it has all your information right here in a screenshot. You know, like if, you know, I saw her post and they're super motivational or something, I'm going to check off that she's part of, like, I want her on my team, you know? And you can do all kinds of crazy things through Google Streak, which will be a whole another training. But you can sort people by this. You can filter people by different products that they use. Like once you create a products tab, whatever products there, and I put Coach Prospect in here. If a person asks me about coaching, you know, I put that information in here. That way when I have a sneak peek coming up, I can filter it by that. Right. And invite them to the sneak peek.
That's good.
Yeah, it makes things so much easier. But this, like I said, this was just for Power Hour, how I get through it. It is actually pretty quick when my computer is working correctly and I'm doing a lot more copying and pasting. You know, and then once I copy and paste, like, it's not the same for each person. I'm sure you do that too, but then you customize it for each person according to like what's going on in their life or what kind of relationship you have or whatever. Yeah. All right, so that's all I have for you guys then. I mean, all the rest, there's so much the Google Streak has, but like I said, this call would be forever if we went over like all the different options that it has. I will be doing a training on, for sure, the email snippets because that's a huge deal. The mass mail merge, that probably will be in one training. And then a couple of the other little things like the follow-up, you know, the timed emails, like you could schedule emails out to send at a certain time, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, it was useful information for